Drishti IAS is pleased to bring you a program, Mastering Mains Answer Writing, targeting answer writing in Civil Services Mains Examination. We will be alternatively covering GS Papers 1, 2 and 3 through this program. For GS Paper 4, please watch our program, Ethics, Definitions and Concepts. The link for it is mentioned in the description below. The structure of this program covers a GS question as basis for discussion, weightage of topic from which the question is being asked, how to approach the question, how to structure your answer, writing the actual answer, and related previous year's questions from the topic. Let's look at the question we'll be discussing in this episode. The question is, law has its own limitation in bringing social change. In this context, critically evaluate the efficacy of steps taken to empower women and weaken the grip of patriarchy around them in India. The question is on the topic Social Empowerment of Women from the segment Indian Society under GS Paper 1. Over the years, the weightage of the topic has ranged between 4 to 6 questions every year between the period 2013 and 18. Shifting towards how to approach the question. In general, there are two things we have to understand with respect to a question: the underlying theme of the question and what is or are being asked about that theme. Now let's consider the above question. The underlying theme of the above question is empowerment of women and loosening the grip of patriarchy around them in India. About this theme of social change, two things are being asked in the question: steps taken to empower women and their efficacy as well as limitations. Another important step in framing your approach to answer any question is to understand the command word. The command word of this question is critically evaluate. It requires an examination of the issue by weighing arguments for and against the issue by assessing various facts and opinions on it. You can conclude by stating your view based on the facts and opinions given earlier. Moving towards how to structure the answer. The first part of the answer will be the introduction of the answer, which will include a brief discussion on how law can bring social transformation. The second part of the answer, that is the body of the answer, will include examples where law has been successful or unsuccessful in empowering women. Lastly, in our conclusion, we will sum up our answer by suggesting steps that need to be taken for empowering women. Shifting focus to the actual answer writing. The answer provided here is a representative answer, that is, how the actual answer may look like. It can be adapted or modified as per your own natural style of writing, whether paragraph form or short sentences or bullets or diagrams. We have also taken certain liberties with the word limit by including certain additional information in the answer for your comprehensive understanding. Let's look at the answer. In modern societies, legislative action tends to be the most important instrument delivering social change or any modification in established patterns of social structure, interhuman relationship, and standards of conduct. The law, though it is a product of the society, is responsible for social transformations by compelling the society to change according to it. Efficacy of legal steps taken to empower women. Augmenting political rights. Women need to actively participate in government and politics in order to maintain democracy. However, women are underrepresented as leaders, elected officials, and voters due to the cultural and social norms which limit their participation in the political process. In this direction, the Indian Constitution under Article 326 provides for the right to franchisee for women at par with men. This has led to the narrowing of the gender gap in voter turnout, visible in the 2014 Lok Sabha elections where the gap was just 1.79%. In addition, the 73rd and the 74th Constitutional Amendment Acts of 1992 brought reservation of seats for women in Gram Panchayats and municipal bodies to augment the political representation of women at the grassroots level. But the culture of Sarpanchpati denies women real political representation as the male members of the family exercise the real authority on behalf of the elected women Sarpanch. Enhancing social rights. Under the Constitution, women have equal rights as men. For example, under Article 14, Equality before law, Article 15, Prohibition of gender discrimination, and Article 16, Equal opportunity in the matter of public employment. Women have equal constitutional rights as men, which provides them equal status. Moreover, the Dowry Prohibition Act of 1961 was passed to prevent the evil practice of giving and taking dowry. The Parliament has recently passed a bill that criminalizes the practice of triple talaq, thereby giving women a sense of social security. However, in some instances, legislations have failed to bring about the needed social change. For instance, the problem of untouchability, female feticide, honor killings are still rampant despite legislations. Ensuring economic rights. Under Article 42 of the Directive Principles of State Policy, the Maternity Benefit Act was enacted to empower women's participation in workplace. The Vishakha Guidelines and the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act of 2013 to check sexual harassment at workplace has strengthened women's participation in workforce. The She-Box online complaint management system empowers women at workplace. However, the principle of equal remuneration does not apply in spirit. Legal protections like the Equal Wages Act have failed to change the status quo. There is a significant gender wage gap. On an average, women are paid 34% less than men, according to a recent report by the ILO. Moral upliftment. Modern laws, which are based on constitutional morality and right-based approach, uplifted the morality of society in general and women in particular by shelving many of outmoded traditional customs and practices. For example, prohibition of the sati pratha, allowing widow remarriage, and entry of women to temples like Sabrimala, gender budgeting, etc. But the law of tradition restrains the law of land. Intercaste or interfaith marriages are still frowned upon and often result in honor killings, even though right to marry is a fundamental right under Article 21 as per a Supreme Court verdict. Law is a powerful instrument to bring social change. However, its efficacy is dependent on the state authorities responsible for its implementation, apart from the social conditions prevailing in the society at that time. Thus, change in value education, upbringing of children to make them receptive to new ideas, participatory decision-making, making bureaucracy gender-sensitive can help in altering the collective consciousness of society and make a fertile ground for bringing social change on the edifice of law with regards to women empowerment. At the end, let's have a look at the previous year's questions. In 2018, 6 questions were asked from the Indian society segment, and the questions were related to caste system, eradication of poverty, secularism, women's movement in India, impact of globalization on Indian society, and communalism. In 2017, the questions were related to the diversity of India, initiatives for the scheduled tribes, tolerance in Indian society, and communalism. In 2016, 4 questions were asked from this segment, and these were related to the impact of globalization on cultural diversity in India, eradication of poverty, provisions enshrined in the Constitution for the scheduled tribes, and regionalism. In 2015, the questions were related to the cultural elements of diversity in India, population as a cause for poverty or poverty as a cause for population, and the other questions were related to scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, trends of labor migration, effects of globalization on women in India, and the assertion of Dalit identity towards annihilation of caste in India. In 2014, the questions were related to the impact of patriarchy on the working women in India, adverse sex ratio of women, joint family system, feminization of agriculture, and secularism. In 2013, the questions were related to urbanization in India, male membership in women's organization, effect of globalization on aged population in India, and regionalism. That is all for this episode. We will see you next time with a question from GS Paper 2. Stay tuned.